9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
Good evening, everybody. Happy Monday for a special late night edition of WWT Live. This is your Timeless Elite, your PR princess, Stone Cold Courtney, whatever you want to call me on this Monday edition. Now, normally we would do it a little bit earlier, but Monday Night Raw happened at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Obviously, of course, it was live on Netflix from Ottawa, Canada. And also pretty much are on the road to Sunday night's main event. So we are going to give you, since we're kind of refreshed in our mind, I'm just going to give you a very quick recap of Monday Night Raw that actually kicked off. Obviously, of course, we're pretty much on the road to Sunday. Sunday night's main event. Oh, hold on, give me 1 second. I've been playing around with this for a while. Let me see if I can. Here we go. All right, so we got Raw. So just a quick run through of Monday Night Raw. Obviously, of course, we kicked it off with Mr. LA Knight because he's trying to get his shot for the World Heavyweight Championship against Roman Reigns. But of course, he has to go through hurdles of the bloodline, and he did get an unexpected ally from Solo Sikoa after what happened last week. And then you had the Usos come out, and Jimmy and Jay put out the challenge to LA Knight and Solo Sikoa, which was the main event. And we will talk about the main event shortly because there are so many things that happened and so much to talk about. We also got to continue the World Heavyweight Championship #1 Contenders Tournament in the semifinals. The first one, obviously, was Rey Fenix defeating Dragon Lee in what was a really good match. And it really just showcased the luchador side of it. Happy that AAA is taking part of it, especially on not just on Raw, but on SmackDown and even NXT. I'm happy it's really starting to showcase. And also, it's interesting that Rey Fenix defeated Dragon Lee because Dragon Lee, and Penta are all going to be teaming together this weekend for AAA, which is very interesting. So there's no hard feelings between Rey Fenix and Dragon Lee. So congratulations, Rey Fenix. And we had the other match that happened. Penta take on La Parka. Obviously, a spectacular match. Penta is just a star in his own right and very, very happy that he's getting a lot of opportunities and also getting an opportunity for the World Heavyweight Championship. But Penta defeated La Parka, and it looks like we're going to get Penta taking on his brother Rey Fenix in the next round. So hopefully there is some brotherly love left, but when it comes to the World Heavyweight Championship, I think that may have to be out the door. But it's going to be a good match, though, and I'm very excited to see who is one step closer to facing the Tribal Chief in Mexico City on Monday Night Raw. We also had the return of Stephanie Vaquer because she was back in action and she defeated Roxanne Perez, in which was a really good match by all the ladies. Obviously, of course, there was a lot of shenanigans between where you had Raquel and Liv Morgan outside the ring, but surprise, surprise, the man, Becky Lynch, came out of nowhere. Obviously, of course, she wants a shot for Liv Morgan's Women's World Heavyweight Championship match, and so does Stephanie Vaquer. And we did find out 2 weeks from tonight, Stephanie Vaquer will get an opportunity against Liv Morgan for the Women's World Championship match. I'm very happy to see Stephanie, but I smell a lot of shenanigans happening in the coming weeks because there is a lot of layers. Becky wants a shot. Obviously, of course, you're going to get shenanigans from the Judgment Day. But I smell a lot of shenanigans 2 weeks. But Stephanie, I'm very happy she is getting a taste of gold. And hopefully she does be women's champion very soon. We also got to see Big Cass take on Javon Evans. Apparently, Big Cass gave Javon Evans a little bump on his personality, which I love. And Javon Evans kind of took it out on JD McDonough and Dirty Dom in a way. So that was very interesting to see. And I was very, very happy on that. Oh, I like this layout. I like this layout in a way. But JD McDonough apparently had to deal with a situation. But it's nice to see Javon Evans getting a little bit of a leg up. Very, very excited to see that. But of course, Big Cass got the victory, and Javon Evans got attacked by both Dirty Dom and JD McDonough. Obviously, of course, we did see him and Rey Mysterio talk backstage. And obviously, Dirty Dom wants to talk to his quote unquote deadbeat father. But we shall see on that, because I feel like a lot's going to be brewing. And with the fact, too, Dominic needs to focus on his upcoming match against El Grande Americano, because he will be defending the AAA Mega Championship. And also, I did see Liv have a stare down with Mrs. El Grande. So, and it would be kind of funny if we saw Mrs. El Grande at Mexico City. That would be pretty funny. Also, and also with the fact, too, we did find out next week on Monday Night Raw, Sol Ruca will get another opportunity for the Women's Intercontinental Championship against Raquel Rodriguez. Gonna be a good match. And then we saw an appearance of Io Sky and Lyra Valkyria. So we're gonna see the Women's Intercontinental Championship heat up in a way. And very excited on that. But we got to talk about the main event and just what happened a couple minutes ago before Raw concluded. We had the Usos take on LA Knight and Solo Sikoa in tag team action. Obviously, the Usos told Jacob Fatu to stay in the back, and he did, because he only takes orders from the tribal chief. But it was definitely a hard-hitting match between both teams. Obviously, of course, there's a lot of blood brewing, and LA Knight, he's on his quest to become world heavyweight champion in the future. And it was a pretty good solid tag team. It very interesting with LA Knight and Solo Sikoa. It kind of reminded me a little bit of the Rock and Sock connection in a way, which is really, really funny. If you know, you know. But they do work well together, especially chemistry wise. I just hope they don't break them up. But shockingly enough, the match ended in a no contest, because not only we got to see the return of Royce Keys, we got to see OTM. And you guys remember them from NXT, which was super, super surprising to see. And I really am surprised, because Royce Keys teamed up with LA Knight and Solo Sikoa not too long ago. But obviously, of course, a couple weeks ago, Jacob Fatu destroyed Royce Keys. And I think the bloodline kind of made him into a deranged maniac. And they're going to run a lot of rum shack through Monday Night Raw. I don't know what's going on there with OTM. I don't know what's going to happen with the tag team division, but I wouldn't mind seeing OTM getting a shot for the tag team titles, because I'm tired of seeing the division with the belts. Hopefully we should see soon. But that concludes Monday Night Raw. Just a quick recap. Also, just to let you know, Seth will be doing his Monday Nightmare post show, where he'll give a full analysis of Monday Night Raw. So you do not want to miss that. All this and more happening. And yeah, we're just adding step and closer. And also thinking, what can I add there? So we're going to talk from Monday Night Raw. We're going to do TNA Lockdown. We're going to talk about TNA Lockdown. Oh, I so like this one. I'm just playing around with the format a little bit. Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. I had to play around with it. Okay, so TNA Lockdown happened last night. Yours truly was on the call for a watch along last night. It was an overall good show in Chicago, Illinois. First time it came at the pay-per-view since 2014. We just had a very solid show. I'm just going to go through some of the matches really quick. We kicked off with Elijah taking on AJ Francis in a final curtain call. And it was a really good start off. Back and forth match between both of them. Very, very happy to see. Obviously, of course, we saw the return of Expressions, which is AJ Francis' manager. He tried to do shenanigans, and unfortunately, AJ Francis got the win. But Elijah got the last laugh, courtesy of help from the hometown man. Put out his guitar, and you see he is left standing there. And I'm pretty sure it won't be the last time we see Elijah and AJ Francis, especially with Expressions back. So who knows what's going to happen Thursday night on TNA Impact. Also, we had the TNA Knockouts World Championship match. Allie did not know where Rosemary went because she was MIA. But technically, we found out she was injured at a local wrestling show a couple weeks ago. So that's why they kind of had to find ways to do it. Allie wasn't sure what she wanted a tag team partner. So shockingly enough, we saw the return of Kiera Hogan. You might remember her when she was on TNA previously, and she came out as Allie's tag team partner against the Elegance brand. Obviously, of course, you had the concierge and you had Mr. Elegance outside the ring. You could expect a lot of shenanigans, but the four ladies really brought it. And Allie and Kiera Hogan, without for Kiera Hogan, are still TNA Knockouts Tag Team Champions, and who knows how long it's going to be. It's going to be very interesting to see. Obviously, of course, Rosemary is MIA, so we don't know when she is going to come back. But I'm happy to see Kiera Hogan back. And a little bit of announcement, courtesy of TNA, she did sign with TNA. Posted it on the socials last night, and very happy that she's going to be another additional part to the Knockout. And super excited on that. We also had, for the first time ever, Frankie Kazarian taking on Moose for the first time ever. There is so much agility, and I know Moose used to play football, but those guys can go, and I know a lot of people wanted Moose to win, but unfortunately, Frankie Kazarian ended up getting the victory because Moose tried to do a spear, and Frankie Kazarian managed to escape the cage, and he won. Not sure what's going to happen here, but we will get into what Frankie Kazarian's doing next a little bit later on for TNA Lockdown. We also had a gruesome TNA Knockouts World Championship match. Zaya Brookside taking on the hometown girl, Elena Black. These two ladies brought it, but I just want to say Zaya Brookside can be very, very ruthless. By the way, she showed that she was ruthless with the belt and made Elena Black bleed like a stuffed pig. That is wild, but those ladies definitely did brought it, and it's really kind of positioning Zaya as the person in the Knockouts division. Obviously, of course, being her a little bit more ruthless, a little bit more aggressive. So I want Zaya Brookside to continue that momentum. Obviously, we did see Indy Hartwell backstage because she wants a shot for the TNA Knockouts World title. But of course, she has to get through Daria Ray because Daria Ray is not going to give her that. So hopefully we do see Indy Hartwell road to TNA Knockouts World Champion very, very soon. And then we had this match. This match was so personal. Mustafa Ali taking on Jason Hotch for the TNA International Championship. Obviously, you had the members of Order 4 because they needed retribution, especially after what happened earlier in the pre-show where Trey Miguel gave Agent Zero his first ever pinfall loss, which was insane. Jason Haas and Mustafa Ali, I don't know how these guys did it. It's the chemistry and everything else. The story was so personal. Jason Haas was really, I thought he was going to take it a little bit further at the TNA International Championship, but shockingly enough, we have a new TNA International Championship, and that is Mustafa Ali. And wow, he got the belt, which that was really surprisingly. Obviously, of course, we did see Tasha Steelz being carried to the back by John Schuyler. And I feel like this is not over between those two. And Mustafa Ali was so drastic. He took Jason Hotch's daughter toy stuffed animal and tried to taunt it. And of course, he did get some nuclear heat on that. But oh my, everything was just coming into play. But Mustafa Ali is the new TNA International Champion. Obviously, on Thursday, we're going to see Trey Miguel and Jason Hodge take on Mustafa Ali and Special Agent Zero. And also with the fact, too, Trey Miguel also wants revenge on Mustafa Ali as well. And then we had the TNA X Division Championship match. We had Cedric Alexander taking on Leon Slater. These guys did definitely put on a clinic, and it kind of did show what the X Division of TNA is all about. And I'm just super, super proud to see it alive and well. Yes, there's many hurdles, but I'm very, very happy to see. But in the end, we have a new TNA X Division champion. Leon Slater is the new X Division champion. His history. He's still in the history books and everything else, but let that man break the record. That's all I ask is let that man break the record. That's all I ask for him to do. No ifs or buts about it. But congratulations to Leon Slater of winning the X Division Championship. And I wanted to put this photo in there because we had a lethal lockdown that was, bodies were flying everywhere. Intergender lethal lockdown, by the way. We had all the members of the system, obviously, of course, excluding Cedric Alexander, taking on the rising stars Fabian Eichner, Casey Navarro, Ricky Sosa, and Jada Stone. Everybody put on a clinic. You knew there was going to be blood, there was going to be violence, there was going to be weapons inside the ring. And happy some of the ladies got involved. Jada Stone and Alicia Edwards. Very kudos to them. But in the end, it is the system that got the victory. And they're showing why they are the somewhat gatekeepers of TNA. We'll see what happens there. And also, Jada Stone has a big match. And hopefully I don't know if she's going to be 100% ready by Thursday because she will be facing off against Ed by Elegance in the finals of the TNA Knockouts TV Championship. So we shall see who is going to be the inaugural champion. But congratulations to the system. And then, of course, we had the main event between the Hardys taking on the Nemets for the TNA World Tag Team Championships in a tornado tag match. Pretty much these, I feel like both of these teams have a blood rivalry. You would think between the Hardys and the Righteous was crazy. This was actually taken to the next level. Obviously, you had the so-called pretty boys, the Nemeths, trying to go back and forth with the Hardys. And we all thought the Hardys were going to retain. But shockingly enough, we have new TNA World Tag Team Champions, the Nemeths. And Nick Nemeth has achieved something that has not been done since Kurt Angle in 2007. He not only holds the TNA World title, he's also one half of the TNA World Tag Team Championships. And I know people think the Hardys are going to go to WWE, but we shall see on that because I'm still weary about their tag team division because I don't know where this is going to go. And, I wouldn't be shocked because I kind of said this months ago, like, I think the Hardys would end their careers in TNA than WWE because TNA gives them the creative freedom that WWE and AEW couldn't. But, if they deserve a lot of rest, they do. They are lovable. So we shall see what's next for the Hardys, but the Nemeths are the new TNA World Tag Team Championships. And shockingly, we ended the show because we had a surprise from Leon Slater because not only he is the reigning TNA X Division Championship, he's making the call to Nick Nemeth because he wants a shot at the TNA World Championship match at Bound for Glory. And it is official. Carlos Silva made it official last night. It will be Leon Slater taking on Nick Nemeth for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship at Bound for Glory from Tampa, Florida in October. So, Leon Slater, the court is yours, kid. But overall, it was definitely a solid show for TNA Lockdown. I was very happy to do a watch along. I know with TNA, they're going through so many with releases and contracts and internal stuff and everything else, but they did put on a good solid show for TNA Lockdown and everything else, and very, very excited. But the big news that happened last night on TNA, you would think it would be Leon Slater, but not Kiera Hogan's not the only person that signed with TNA. We had the signing. Shout out JT. We had the signing of Avery Styles. You've heard of that name. He's the son of AJ Styles. He officially made an announcement last night during TNA Lockdown that he is officially signed with TNA, the promotion that his dad built. But of course, he had some interruptions with Frankie Kazarian. And Frankie is trying to be the model, the role model that he is, making sure he shows him the ropes. But I think it would be really good for Avery to work with somebody like Frankie, because Frankie has been in numerous feuds with AJ Styles and really showing him the ropes. And I think that would be a good feud for him to try. And I think I'm hoping that Avery Styles finds his own identity. I mean, we know AJ Styles is a phenomenal one, but I would like for Avery to find it, carve his own path, be more than just AJ's son. Because I feel like he does have potential, and seeing from people that when he wrestled in GCW, he's a really great wrestler and he could pull it off. So I'm happy for him. I'm looking forward to seeing what he's gonna do, and just super, super excited. But yeah, Kiera Hogan and Avery Styles have joined the roster, and super, super excited. But before we jump into a few other stories, we do want to let you guys know of a new initiative we have in Women's Wrestling Talk, and that is the Women's Wrestling Archive, because we celebrate the past, the present, and the future of women's wrestling.
Women's wrestling didn't just show up yesterday in glitter boots. We've been here the entire time, body slamming through history.
The Women's Wrestling Archive launches 2026, and it's going to pave the way for all women's wrestling.
Because if we don't document it, a man might say he did it first.
This has been a passion project for a very long time. Head over to the womenswrestlingarchive.com to donate 1, 5, or whatever you can. It all goes a long way.
Let's give these women the spotlight that they've always deserved.
Her story belongs in history. Help us preserve it today. Join us at womenswrestlingarchive.com. Support the archive. Support women's wrestling. Donate today.
Support everything that you can from the Women's Wrestling Archive. $1, $2, $3, $4, $100, whatever it takes. Every support helps. So we do have a few stories that I want to talk about before we get out of here. Big news from AEW. They are going to France, Paris, France, as announced by the Sports Business Journal. As announced by the Sports Business Journal, AEW Grand Slam France will take place on Tuesday, October 6th at the Adidas Arena. And this is the first ever AEW live event in France. And I'm so excited. I've been to Paris before, but this is going to be so fun. And I'm happy AEW is starting to branch out. Obviously, of course, they've done it with Wembley in London, but I'm happy they are branching out to stuff in the UK. Obviously, of course, not just London, but also they've branched out to Glasgow, Scotland, and Australia. Now they're heading to France. And yes, JT, they're doing it big for the first time ever, going to France. And I'm so, so, so excited. I'm looking forward to see what the crowd looks like. And I may have to, for my watch along for Timeless Elite Wednesday, I may have to dress up in Paris or something. But I'm very excited because I love that they're branching out to other countries out in the land of the UK, and they're just expanding themselves. And that really makes me happy to see, and kind of doing it very slowly. I'm very curious on what the reception is going to look like in Paris, France. Obviously, we know with the fans, when WWE Backlash came to Paris and France, the crowd was going loud. So the UK fans are going to bring it. And congratulations to AEW. They're continuing to just branch out and get out of their comfort zone and everything else. This story in particular, because I feel like this is a broken record that we are still going to be talking about on Women's Wrestling Talk, because we support all things women's wrestling. So, Paige is the latest superstar to deal with airport scalpers who are waiting with a multitude of items to be signed. She posted this on her socials earlier today. Airport scalpers are morphing. Had someone waiting for me as I was getting off the plane at the gate of my connecting flight with like 30 pictures. I'm easygoing with this stuff, but pulling up to my gate is fucking weirdo behavior. Don't do that. And I agree with her too, because honestly, I don't even understand why anybody would want to wait at an airport all day, not just for celebrities, but for wrestlers to come out. They just got off their flight, then they have to head over to the next flight. The last thing they want to deal with is people coming up to them trying to get an autograph, or like getting 50 Funko Pops for autographs. I mean, they are human beings and they have other priorities as well. And I do think that is important for a platform like Women's Wrestling Talk to still continue to talk about it, because we want to make sure that we support all things women, while also addressing the not so great stuff that happened to women, such as Paige right here. And JT, I wish I could tell you, it's kind of crazy, but I think somebody posted on socials that there's kind of like a social board, like not like Discord, but there is kind of something where they map out on where the wrestler flies and where they stay at the hotel. That is kind of creepy in a way. And I do think it's important. Safety comes first in making sure of that. And also, and I know the ladies do this, and I know the guys, just make sure to carry pepper spray with you. That's how I always do it, to keep away creeps and weirdos and everything else. But fans, stop being weird. It's not cool, it's not nice, and it's not cute. And these are human beings that do have lives outside of the ring. And if you really want to meet them, pay your ticket, pay the meet and greet, and move on from there. That is pretty much it. But we do have two more stories before we get out of here. And we're going to end on a little bit of a high note. So, as you know, Rebel has been fighting ALS throughout this year. I do want to give definitely a shout out to the Outrunners, because they actually hosted a show. There's been a lot of great support for the wrestling community. The latest display came from Dream Pro Wrestling Promotion, which is run by some AEW talent, one half of the Outrunners, Truth Magnum. They held a benefit show in late July and raised $7,181.41 for the fight against ALS in support of Rebel. And I think it's really cool to see the wrestling community come out and support her, whether it's through the Ice Bucket Challenge and everything else. And I'm just so pleased to see all the loving support they're showing from Rebel. And it's not even AEW, it's like everywhere. We've seen it, like Tony Khan did the Ice Bucket Challenge, Lance Archer, Bailey, Cody Rhodes even did the Ice Bucket Challenge. I mean, when you have somebody like Cody Rhodes doing that, even when he's in WWE, it's like, come on, Cody Rhodes, you can't deny it. You can't deny the man. And even David Arquette participated in the ALS Bucket Challenge. So I'm really happy it is spreading and we are in the fight for Rebel, and it makes me happy to see. It makes me very, very happy to see like everybody's coming together to be in support of Rebel for this. But we're going to end off with a high note for WWT Live. This past weekend, I had the chance to I was able to participate in the media scrum for Ring of Honor Death Before Disorder. It was a great show. It was an overall great show. All the matches delivered. The crowd in Philadelphia was on their feet at the historic 2300 Arena. During the media scrum, I got to ask not only Deonna Purrazzo a question, because, this year she was a first-time wrestling booker and promoter when she did Battle for the Brave, but I also asked Tony Khan a question regarding the overwhelming positive response for Rebel. He definitely gave a really good response. And during the weekend, when I was stumbling upon like socials or anything, I actually stumbled upon Fightful quoting Tony Khan's answer that I gave in question regarding Rebel. And it was really, really nice for me, especially the work that we're doing on WWT Live, especially getting stuff like this on top outlets like Fightful. It is crazy. So we do want to send a shout out to Sean Ross Sapp and everybody for Fightful for at least quoting the answer that Tony gave regarding Rebel at Ring of Honor's media scrum. And it was really fun. And I posted it on my personal socials, and seeing the overwhelming response has been insane. I've had Lance Archer and Taya Leona liked my post, and it was just really such a warm feeling, and it makes me happy to see everybody's coming together for Rebel. Obviously, of course, September 9th in Atlanta, Georgia, they will be doing a Rebel Heart show where they will be dedicating everything to Rebel, and I'm very, very excited. I got my shirt, I got my band, and I will be ready to go. So it's just a good feeling, especially for me. Um, being not just in the space, but working in PR during the day. This is what I thrive to do, and it makes me happy to see. So I do want to give a shout out to Adam and Matt and everybody in the AEW PR team for letting Women's Wrestling Talk participate in the media scrum for Ring of Honor, and we do look forward to doing stuff and also all the work that we're doing as well. But that kind of wraps up our quick edition of WWT Live on a Monday night. Make sure to check out for said because he will be doing his Monday Nightmare edition, and it looks like we may be getting another edition to Monday Night Raw and getting a taste of Vice City. And I'm sure he'll be talking more about that on his post show. But you guys know where to find me on my socials on @CourtneyNJ11. I do have some stuff I still got to post from. And yes, JT, Athena is the best. I do have some posts that I still have to post from Ring of Honor and everything else. I will be posting my question that I asked Deanna Perrazzo later in the week, which has been really fun. The recap for Ring of Honor is posted on WWT's website. Hang out with me for Wednesdays, for Timeless Elite Wednesdays, because we're coming to you from Glasgow, Scotland. So it's the final stop before AEW All In this weekend. I'll be doing a watch along. I will also be doing a watch on for TNA because we are wrapping up the Knockouts TV tournament. And we'll find out who is the inaugural Knockouts TV champion. Also, with the fact there will be a watch along for AEW All In this weekend. So get ready, folks, because it's going to be a fun, yet exciting and chaotic week of wrestling. So you do not want to miss that. And just shout out to everybody from my WWT crew, because I know summer, we want to have fun during summer, but summer's winding down. But they are doing great work. So I want to shout out to everybody from the WWT. Well, JT, we will see on that because we're going to be doing bold predictions on Friday for AEW All In. And I got some thoughts, but I'll save them for Wednesday and I will save them for Friday when we do bold predictions. But shout out to the rest of my WWT crew for everybody putting in the work in, because I know a lot of our schedules are crazy, but we are doing great work. We're doing everything we can. Also, as I said, I'm going to give a shout out to Bronwyn Billington because I did run for SSPW's Women Commissioner last week. But Bronwyn Billington is the winner, so I want to send a shout out to her. I know she's going to be a great commissioner for their women's division, and it was definitely an opportunity for me to run and everything else, and truly grateful for that. And also follow ISPW because they're doing a lot of good things, getting ready for the fall, 80s Wrestling Con on Halloween. So you make sure you want to follow ISPW Wrestling. But yeah, that wraps up WWT Live on a Monday edition of After Raw, which is very interesting. But I do want to shout out everybody like in the chats that are commenting. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment. Yes, Jacob called that play. Yeah, Jacob did call the play, which was really funny. But definitely want to shout out everybody for participating, supporting, subscribe, like, comment, share, everything for Women's Wrestling Talk, because we are doing a lot of great things as fall and holiday season is approaching. But thank you all again for joining with me on Monday's edition of WWT Live. Make sure to support Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet. Have a great evening, and we will see you back here on Wednesday.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at WW Talk Pod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms, like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at www.talkpod.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.